excited to share with you the nuts and bolts of the Hero Benefits Network. Well, that's my dad on the right, and that's my grandfather on the left. Adding to that, I love that shirt on the far left corner. It says Fitzpatrick in his pocket. And that's my dad, George Fitzpatrick. That's his dad, Leo Fitzpatrick. Both law enforcement and military men. My older brother was a Marine. In fact, he died a Marine. I was invited to his graduation at Parris Island, South Carolina, when I was about 16 or 17 years old. And let me tell you what, my dad was a cop, grandfather was a cop, both of them in the military. My brother was a Marine. My nephew was a Marine. My wife was a teacher. And all I knew for sure is I was not going to be going to Parris Island. I knew that at 16, 17 years old. I was not going to Parris Island, South Carolina, to become a Marine. I was petrified by that place, scared shitless at Parris Island. So I'm what you call a wimp. And, but I was in a family of military and law enforcement officers, but I was more of the salesman of the family. So I went into residential real estate as a licensed residential real estate agent in 1986. Now, in the last couple of months in my life, I spent a lot of times in boardrooms with mortgage executives. So since the interest rates went up, the mortgage executives that you'd meet with would be wrestling between, are we going to go affinity, hardcore affinity, like Cross Country did $64 million a month or some shit in affinity, right? Like they blew it out of the water in affinity. So other banks look at them and go, oh, should we do affinity? And then some banks, MBAs especially, went consumer direct. They're like, I got to go consumer direct. Forget these realtors. This is not in any way to make a living with these realtors referring our business. How can we be at the beck and call of our realtors and ever grow a business? If we don't control our leads directly, we're going to be, always beholden to these realtors. And then some of them started to go in the direction of relo and referral. And some of them, and I think these, were said, no way, don't stop with the realtors. The realtors are the number one source of referral. We have to build up our realtor referral business, right? So you had these, I call them ivory tower executives, managing these huge sales forces. And really, without talking to their sales force, they try to devise or come up with the idea that's going to be the next generation of their mortgage bank. What's better than realtor referred purchase business? What's better than consumer direct? What's better than relo and referral? What's better than affinity? They're all trying to create a better mousetrap, right? So some of them copy Quicken, going consumer direct. Some of them copy Cross Country, going affinity. Some of them copy Rick Ruby and the gang, going realtor referral. But at the end of the day, I had an idea to do all three of them in one thing. Like, could you do your affinity, your consumer direct, and your realtor referral in one mechanism? And that's Hero Benefits Network. Now, I'm going to go back to this screen real quick because in 1986, my dad was a Fort Lauderdale cop, and my brother was a Marine, and my wife was a teacher. So here I am, a realtor, and I said, well, why don't I just go into the police department, Fort Lauderdale PD, and bring in coupons good for what we called law enforcement appreciation program. And I did that from 1986 till today. And in about 2005 or so, we incorporated the Hero Home Source mechanism. And that was a for-profit piece of equipment where we allowed other realtors to come in and do law enforcement appreciation program with us. And then last year, actually 2023, we decided we were going to incorporate a nonprofit 501c3 And we were going to create a consumer direct value add solution. Now, consumer direct to 1/3 of all humans that live. Okay. That's what I want you to know. 1/3 of all humans that live qualify for hero benefits. About 1/3 of the people that you'll meet are either an essential worker or a veteran. So now we capture a huge piece of the market's attention by going after essential workers. Then we layer in our realtor referral partners into it, providing even more benefits and more value to the realtor referral partner. And then here's the key. I think this is the key. We created an essential employee relocation network where we share back the referral fees back to the cop, back to the hero, back to the veteran. Instead of us taking the 25% referral fee and keeping it, instead of us taking your affinity program and keeping it, we're going to be taking that money and then giving it back to the hero in our essential employee relocation network. So we believe that we've layered affinity, consumer direct, realtor referral, and a value add to the essential employee that serves as a barb on the hook, somewhat of a golden handcuffs, or at least a golden guardrails that we can help them. And then we started to sell exclusive territories in the spring of 2024 for $100 a month. Because we're a nonprofit, we're not trying to get rich on you like Homes for Heroes is. We're just trying to do something fair that helps us build and sustain a network. And we just had a big guy from Houston come on. I think he's going to pay $1,000 a month to take all the zip codes in Houston. So you could see where we make a little bit of money to help pay for our employees and our technology and our web design. And then you get the benefit of working with our realtor referral partners and helping us build your own realtor referral network. So I think the most appropriate place to start for you as a mortgage banker is understanding that herobenefitsnetwork.com registers employees for benefits, down payment assistance benefits, closing cost benefits. They can pay for their moving expenses with these benefits, but ultimately it's a large amount of money that the hero registers to get in advance of the transaction. Then we send that hero over to a vetted real estate agent who's certified with Hero Benefits Network. And they do 3 things for us. And I want you to focus on these 3 things because it's kind of like having a loan partner if you think about it, right? Imagine if you didn't have to talk to the employee before you decided if they were serious or not. That's what we did for the MLO. We've eliminated the pre-qualification of people who aren't ready. We do this. We go wants and needs analysis. When are you looking to move? Why are you looking to move? How are you looking to move? Where are you thinking about moving to? And what are you thinking about buying or selling? Then we want to just put them through some red flags. Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you employed for, on the job? How's your credit? We're not going to disposition the loan, but we want to eliminate the red flags before we send them over to the MLO. And then the realtor is going to do the 3rd step, which is really important. They're going to do a relocation grant offer to the hero. So let's just take a number out of the sky and say $6,700. So it looks to me like you're going to qualify for about $6,700 in relocation grants. Then they issue a voucher. The voucher goes out to the consumer and it says, if you buy a home using our mortgage, in-network mortgage, in-network realtor, and in-network title company, we're going to gift you $6,700 in down payment assistance or relocation grants, which you can use for moving expenses. You can use for buy down your rate. That's become very popular lately. You're getting a 6 7/8 rate, and you could buy it down to 6.5 or 6.25. These are 1 and 2 point buy downs that are pretty popular right now. Pre-qualification purchase referral goes over to the MLO from the realtor, but it already has that relocation grant attached to it. So when you're talking to the consumer, there's a cultural significance to the realtors conversation, and your conversations are in alignment. Right? That's a key attribute of our network, right? We don't just take the deal and then send it arbitrarily to some other MLO who doesn't even know what the freak he's doing. We did that before for about 5 years. It broke my heart. But when you have a realtor who has a consensus that the MLO and him or her working together, and that the MLO and the realtor are truly partners, then you get this cultural phenomenon where there's consistency and continuity from the realtor refer to the MLO referral. Instead of having this outside sales organization who doesn't even know what the realtor said, and then they have to pre-qualify them for a mortgage. No, we don't want to do that. We want continuity, cultural continuity between the realtor and the MLO. And then if that all goes well and the pre-qualification and purchase referral goes well, then it's sent down to the title company. Now, the nice thing for you guys as mortgage bankers is most of your MBAs already have an affinity program. If you're a mortgage broker, you could just drive your own rate decisions to create an affinity program. But in an MBA environment like cross country or whatever, they already have an affinity program. So this just plugs directly into their existing affinity program. And what I believe is the case is like there's a comp bucket. It's about 25 points, 25 basis points light for the MLO. So let's say the MLO was getting paid 150 basis points. But in the affinity program, they get paid 125 basis points. So what happens is there's already a rate and terms set inside of that affinity program. So we don't have to jump through a lot of hoops for compliance with like the PRMGs, cross country mortgage, fairway funding, fairway independent, whatever. You don't have to change anything about what you're doing. Now, there's some small MBAs that don't know what affinity is, and we have to jump through some hoops with them. If you're at a small MBA and they don't have an affinity program, we can help them create their affinity program, which is a legal compliant mechanism to offer small groups of employees a little bit of a better rate and a little bit of a better pricing because they're coming through a portal called Hero Benefits Network. Or you did a deal with we did a deal a while back with Lockheed Martin. So any employee from Lockheed Martin that came through us went through our affinity program. So they saved a quarter point on rate, and I think they got another $1,000 from corporate. So the fact that it plugs into your existing affinity program is very, very useful. And I'd like to illustrate, where this is heading. We're in the process of doing this in Houston right now. We're in the process of doing this in Hickory, North Carolina right now. Excuse me. We're just setting up our first group of realtor certifications through Surety Title in Connecticut and New Jersey. So I think Randy's flying in or visiting with Surety Title and their 40 marketing reps to get this really jump started for 2025. But in order to really illustrate for you, I'm going to steal a page out of this Stephen Covey book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of them is begin with the end in mind, right? Begin with the end in mind. So what is it we're trying to do? We need to get 400 agents in your market into a database. It's easy to do. It takes about 5 minutes. Once we have 25 broker owners or teams and about 400 agents in your database, then we're going to set off on certifying about 10% of those agents or team leaders. We don't expect to have more than 15 people attend each event during your first 90 days. So we're going to do 3 certification events over the first 90 days, and we're going to set up a very minimum expectation on the number of certified agents achieved in 90 days. We're just trying to certify 45 agents, okay? But based on our numbers and based on what's happened historically, we're going to get about 15 of those real estate agents to really commit to Hero Benefits Network. And that means they're going to be an exclusive zip code partner of yours. And you're probably going to have one title agency promotional partner. And I want you to see what that feels like. See, the only reason we forecast 90 days for 15 agents each at 3 different events is because you don't have a promotional partner yet. You don't have a loan partner. And I've worked with mortgage bankers long enough to know that they're busy people. They're not going to be out there promoting this every day. So without a title agency marketing rep promoting it for you, without the Board of Realty, we only anticipate about 15 realtors to show up at each of the 3 certifications. So over the next 90 days, with our mortgage banking partners, we're going to certify 45 agents, and we'll probably end up with about 15 exclusive agents, exclusive zip code partners. Now, this may sound foreign to you on the surface, but what we do for a living at HBN is we meet with HR directors, principals of schools. We meet with the athletic director about all their coaches. We meet with the police chief or the police benevolent association. So we call those people HR directors, or they might be association presidents. So what we're able to do over the first 6 months that we're in a relationship in a new community, our target, and we're very, very goal oriented here. You could see this. It's like if you join Hero Benefits Network and you don't give us a database, you're already dropped the ball, right? If we don't certify 45 agents in the first 90 days, we've dropped the ball. If we don't have 15 exclusive zip code partners and one title agency partner within 90 days, we've dropped the ball. But if we execute over the first 90 days and then over the next 6 months, our realtor partners and us, we're doing it with them. We do the HR director presentations with your realtors. And we spend a lot of time with your realtors. We coach them up every week. We're with your realtors, highlighting best practices every week with your realtors. So we're doing the top of mind work with you, right? We're helping you keep your realtors, keep your mortgage bank at the top of their mind, right? Because you're co-branded on their promotional campaigns. So if you look at that box on the far left-hand corner in blue, it says promotional campaigns are free. That's because the HR department pushes your information out to their employees for free. So let's pretend that Eagle Trace Country Club in Coral Springs, Florida, which is a famous TPC country club, Tournament Players Club, country club for years and years and years. They used to host the Honda Classic there. And there's probably 4,500 homes in Eagle Trace, right? So imagine if you made a deal with the Eagle Trace Homeowners Association where you were going to be the exclusive realtor in Eagle Trace. But as a bonus, they're going to promote you to the Eagle Trace homeowners for you. You don't have to do it. Well, that's essentially what the HR directors do for us. They do the promotions for us to their constituency, whether it's a group of firefighters, teachers, or law enforcement officers. So then over the course of the first 6 months, if you had 45 certified agents, 15 exclusive partners, and 15 HR directors, we're ballparking 48 transactions a year to come through those 15 exclusive partners and those 15 HR directors. But even if you cut that number down to 4 transactions per quarter, you're still talking about 16 transactions a year coming in from HBN for $100 a month. I think it's the easiest decision in the history of decisions as per Capital One, right? But I'm excited to show you the end in mind because that's what it feels like to grow the Hickory, North Carolina market. That's what it feels like to grow the Houston, Texas market, right? We start with 400 agents, 25 broker owners or teams. We set out on a charted course to certify 15 agents per month over the first 90 days. And then we end up with HR directors that are promoting us. Now, once the HR director is promoting us, I want to show you what we do. We provide short videos, we provide flyers, we provide coupons and vouchers, we provide social media content and email campaigns out to these heroes. And it's very, very effective because once we get the hero to check in with us, we say, hey, let's have a quick chat. The quick chat is, what is the Hero Benefits Network? What heroes qualify? How does the hero receive the reward? Let's go ahead and calculate your grant right now so that you receive a voucher. And by the way, your voucher never expires. You can keep that voucher for 6 years if you want to, and call us up in 6 years. And many of our real estate agents are starting to embrace this phenomenon called relocation analysis. It's a fantastic resource to do with a cop, a firefighter, a teacher, to really lay out the nuts and bolts of a relo within the essential employee relocation network. So you can see where we're going to get the heroes for you, and we're going to explain to these heroes who we are. We raise money through you, an expansion partner. We raise money through promotional partners that make charitable donations to our organization. And we also have a handful of corporate vendor partners that write us a check to help us sustain our network. So these donations help us offer down payment assistance and relocation grants to essential employees. Our partner companies include perk plans, which also augments the value that we can bring to our heroes, and Works Partner, which helps our mortgage bankers and title companies build relationships faster with realtors. That's essentially what Perk Plans and Works Partner does within the context of Hero Benefits Network. And all of our heroes are invited to Rise and Elevate and Financial Wellness podcast that we do on their behalf. Now, who qualifies? There's actually 9 categories of employees that qualify for hero benefits. The first one is military and veterans. I showed you a picture of my dad and my grandfather, both in the military. Firefighters, healthcare professionals, which has been a boon for us. We've been having so much fun with nurses and doctors and surgeons that are coming through our network to buy their home in communities like Naples, Florida, or Houston, Texas. We work with law enforcement officers, teachers, including private school teachers and college and university teachers. We include unions because we found that those are essential workers, school bus drivers, city bus drivers, Teamsters union. Anything that's a union, we're gonna go ahead and lump them in to essential employees. Carpenters union, plumbers union, electrical contractors union. We do offer our benefits to all government employees. If you work for a nonprofit, we will include you in as an essential employee. And last but not least, ambulance drivers or emergency medical staff, emergency medical technicians. So any of these 9 categories of heroes, which represents actually more than 1/3 of the human population, we basically built a farm area of 1/3 of the humans in our community. And that's why we go to the Police Benevolent Association. That's why we go to the firefighters union and the teachers union, and we make relationships with the hero human resources directors at those organizations who then promote us for free because we're a nonprofit. So we want to stress to the hero that this is not a loan. The HBN grants never have to be repaid. So we're going to give you, as a hero, we're going to give you daily perks. Through perk plans, we can offer free and deeply discounted concert and sporting events to our heroes. We can offer appliances and household items at deep discounts. We can offer exclusive savings from the largest companies in America. And I want to make a really solid point on this one. Randy Nemiroff in Perk Plans already has 80 million members, okay, that can access his Perk Plans offerings from them. In fact, one of his partners is the NFL alumni who can access appliances, household items, sporting events through perk plans, travel discounts, exclusive savings from the largest companies in America. So if they're going to go to Disney World, they can go on our site, buy their tickets at a cheaper price and things like that. So those are called the daily perks. Okay. And we've referred to those as city perks for city employees. We've offered that as military perks. We've offered it as law enforcement perks. But you could see that it's not just about residential real estate. It also has daily perks that are available to the heroes on massive things. I was with an offensive lineman from the NFL who had just bought his appliance package for his new home online through a perk plans mechanism. He got like a extra discount when he bought like the $8,000 worth of appliances. Help with home ownership. One of the ways that we help your essential employees to buy a home is we're going to give them funds to help with down payment, or we can just use that money to pay your closing costs or a portion of your closing costs, right? You can use those funds to buy down your mortgage interest rate. I mentioned it's a new phenomenon. Excuse me for this cold. I apologize. You can spend a point and buy down your rate a little bit, spend 2 points and buy down your rate a little bit more. Now, this is my favorite sector because I'm a listing agent, and your listing agents are really going to understand this really quickly. We offer concierge level service with experienced planners to plan out your relocation. We're looking to sell your house and move into a new home. So we're going to do real estate, lifestyle, and job search assistance so that you can, make a good decision whether relocation is in your future. We don't rush you to relocate. In fact, if you're considering relocation as a police officer, we can augment your decision with a $10,000 relocation and moving expense voucher, but that's not the gist of it. The gist of it is that we're going to help you decide if it's the right thing for you. What does the job there pay? What's the lifestyle there where you're thinking about relocating? What's the real estate cost there? Is it going to ultimately save you money to move to a new community and set up shop as a police officer in that new community? You would be shocked when I talk to teachers, firefighters, law enforcement officers, that they are frustrated with the cost of housing where they live. It's very, very expensive to be a police officer in Fort Lauderdale anymore. So when we meet with the hero, we do this quick calculation. And if it's just a purchase, we calculate up the amount of the grant for the purchase. And then if it's a relocation, we're able to add the relocation grant to the down payment assistance factor, and we end up with a much larger relocation grant. So once our agents are trained on how to do this, it's second nature. It doesn't take any, razzmatazz to figure out how to do that. I think what's important for you to know as a mortgage banker, if you were going to run an affinity program that offered 25 bips, it's not a significant number. Your affinity savings program doesn't really have a lot of barb on the hook. It's 25 bips. It's not that big a deal. But when you add it to the referral fee from the realtor and the pledge from the title company, you end up with a one-stop shop where it's a much more substantial benefit to the end buyer, right? The only thing you need to know is that heroes must be registered before they're promised a voucher. You have to register them, whether you're an agent, mortgage, or title. Your job is to make sure that we're listed as procuring cause. And that procuring cause is how we collect the funds available for down payment assistance and relocation grants. So I want to play out a scenario for you real quick. Let's say the agent fills out the form and the hero is locked in for a $4,700 grant. But then you don't end up doing the mortgage. Well, the grant goes down to like 3,600 because your 25 bips comes off. You didn't do the mortgage. You're not donating the 25 bips. They have to stay in network to get the full effect of the down payment assistance. I just want to be really clear. We explain that to the hero in advance. And these are willing participants in the relocation grants. They have 100% freedom of choice to pick whatever vendor they want. And we've been successful with about 100% of the time. Now, in closing, I think it is worth you noting that listing agents are going to become the paramount person in the real estate market during 2025. They already were, but you didn't notice it as much because the buyer side commissions were still being offered inside the MLS. But now that you can offer zero compensation inside the MLS and there's no rules that protect that, you're going to see that the listing agents are going to control pocket listings legally, and they're not going to be offering commissions in the MLS right away. So they might do a whole month without offering any commission in the MLS and try to sell it themselves. That's completely legal now. So imagine you were a listing agent and you're like thirsty for more inventory. Well, we'll introduce you to retiring heroes that are ready to sell and relocate. We're going to introduce you to some underpaid teachers and coaches who need to make a move in order to survive. And it's like I said earlier, it's just like cultivating a geographic farm area for a realtor, but it allows HBN to augment and provide you a third party endorsement that you can establish a strong reputation and loyal following very, very quickly. So, in order to register your hero prospects, go to herobenefitsnetwork.org, click on hero registration, and you just fill out the registration form. We will receive that hero, and then we can track the status and communicate with your team. Now, imagine you have 45 realtors certified in 90 days, like I said, and you've got maybe 10 or 15 vouchers out there swimming around in the marketplace now. Those are solid transactional loyalties, man. I'm telling you, I've been doing this for a long, long time. Sorry if today was a little bit gruff, but it's 10:31. My time here is over. I will give you our website one more time, herobenefitsnetwork.org. There is a ticketing system. If you ever have a question, there's a chat bar. You can get in, ask us questions. You can even reach out to me or Carrie via email, and we'll call you back. We don't have enough staff to cover inbound telephone calls yet, but we do have the opportunity to respond to your texts, emails, and your ticketing system and get ahead of helping you with anything that you need. But get to know us better at herobenefitsnetwork.org. I think you'll find that we've lumped your affinity program with your consumer direct program with your realtor referral program in a very, very important way for your local marketplace. Thank you very much. And like you said, if you need me, just reach out to herobenefitsnetwork.org.